Iarachni.
Το ποντίκι.
Podiki. Remember nasal and a voiceless stop are just pronounced as a voiced stop. D. Podiki. To podiki. A neuter noun in E. Iarachni. A feminine noun in eta. Some of them have final eta, some have final alpha. Tokavuri. Tokavuri. With a beta, the fricative. The spider.
Η αράχνη.
Tokavuri.
Το καβούρι. Η αράχνη.
Oops. The spider, the mouse. Topodiki. I arcuda.
Η αρκούδα.
Arctos, the classical word.
Το ποντίκι. Η αράχνη.
Arachni. The spider. That eta, that first word, is the definite article that is feminine. English has arachnophobia, arachnid, spider-like animals. Pelican, pelicanos. So that one vowel having the mark above it is called the acute accent. Signals that that syllable, that vowel, is a higher tone than the surrounding ones.
Το ποντίκι.
Podiki, or in the case of modern Greek, really stress, really close to what we have in English, or stressing this syllable. Longer, louder, higher pitched.
Η αράχνη.
And with the tonal motion on the stress syllable, not so much elsewhere.
Ο πελεκάνος.
Pelicanos. Oh, for masculine, arachni, arachnid. Fun part about Greek is recognizing it. Yes, that's all good. So, Levi, can you give us in Devanagari script Panini 111 carbonated podiki, the mouse, topodiki, gotcha, rhymes with the article. That's a good mnemonic, thank you. Topo Chico. Topo is like the mole, right? I can never quite remember what Topo Chico means. In two, let's talk about English. Esperanto won't be as helpful here. Don't know it that well. Topo. It's the mole, Chico, pale, right? Guy. It's not the mole guy, though. I think it means pale. Little mole. Yum yum. Cheers. The crab, το καβούρι.
Το καβούρι. Το καβούρι και η πάπια.
Καβούρι και η πάπια. Kavuri. Crab and the papya. Potato.
Πάπια.
Got a little ahead of myself there. Η αρκούδα.
Η αρκούδα. Το κουτάβι. Κουτάβι.
Kutabi. So ko inu, Japanese for puppy, also has ko at the beginning. Ko inu, kutabi. Yep. Do you recall it? To really understand Panini, you're going to have to memorize it, because it's about 4,000 sutras, and none of them. This is just, I mean, each one is essentially a single statement or a rule of its own. But when you can, the whole assembly of 4,000 of them is what makes it a grammar. So the first little stretch of 1-1 from my book. Do you recall it? If you have it, it's about just getting it in your brain. Remind me. We'll do it in a minute. Let's do it after. I'll just enter it. We can go over it again. But if you could tell us what it means. Tokutavi, the puppy. So the noun is neuter. No, my goodness, I have not memorized the whole thing. I got through the first 3 sections. A really helpful thing for that is on YouTube. Something I found really okay, so there's a series of lessons that's quite helpful. It's also a recitation. Several, I think. Okay, so we're going to see it here. There you go. If you could just get it in Devanagari. And let me just give you a taste of this. I would listen to this at least once a day for a year or so as I was working real hard on it.
वृद्धिरादैच अदें गुणः इको गुणवृद्धि न धातुलोप आर्धधातुके इति च दीधिवे वीटाम्.
It's a recitation with melody. You get a clear sense of where each sutra ends. And if you just listen to it regularly, your musical understanding starts to absorb it. You hear it as a sequence of sounds, and you acquire it with the melody. I think the melody helps it stick in the mind. Yeah, you can do it. So let's get the relevant part on screen again. So it's this, the introductory. Atha pratamo dhyayaha prathama padaha. This, from here, atha, this here, is the first pratamaha adhyayaha, first chapter. Prathama padaha. And note with the following P, it's a phi sound. Prathama padaha, or even an F. The visarga I'm talking about, the colon-shaped mark. Prathama padaha means first quarter. So this whole thing is about 4 minutes. That's 1/32 of the structure of the thing. Some of them are longer. This one's relatively succinct is what it is. But as you go through it, yeah, you should try to memorize this. Some are more relevant and simple than others, but the first 1-1-1 would be a good one to have ready to go. So, and the way it works is as you absorb and memorize these rules, whenever you look at a word form and you analyze it, the relevant sutras will just come to your mind, and you see how it's derived. And then the goal of what it really enables you is generation, production. You can correctly generate, if you've really absorbed all the rules and how they interact, you can, on the spot, derive any needed verb form and any utterance, essentially. Upcoming, no longer upcoming. Should update that. I'm on the wrong page. Anyway, here's our greeting, or what do you call that? Our home page, and I want to show you the books here that we've put out. Let's look at that for a while. So that's a good resource here. Let me put that in the link in the chat, the link for this. So I memorized the first 3 quarters, but then got distracted and didn't devote time to it anymore. But if you are interested, let's go through it. Let's build up as much as we can, since we're here to talk about language. It shows, well, that, okay, thank you, but I can't really access the text from this device that I'm on. Can you put the text into the chat, please? It's alright if you can't. You can say no. I'll do it. But I just can't get those devices to interact to my
Είναι
It is alive, a living
ζώο.
animal. So the root of zoo, and we don't need an article here.
Έχεις κατοικίδιο.
Κατοικίδιο. Έχεις means you have. goes back in that essentially the same spelling, different in the accents, but that's the same form for ancient Greek. Sound is changed. You have katikideo.
Κατοικίδιο.
So, what do you think is the root for this one, Levi? Once you're done with, still have to. You don't want to type. Okay, no, he says. All right. Well, I mean, a real simple way to get it, to my mind, is my good friend Lexi, last name Logos. Now the vocalic R, let's take a sec to look for it. Will it be a capital? Nope. Yeah, if I just do an R, it gives me the consonant one, which is a leftward downstroke. So we need R as vowel there. We need it on the V, actually. Vr. So this is not quite it. There it goes. And then it's D, sort of a geminate, plain D, aspirated D. Vr, T, Ra, just go syllable by syllable. Daich. So if you could now tell us what the words are in that, you can use Roman. And what's your take on the structure of this word for pet, katikidio? This one's a question. It's easy to overlook. So it means, do you have a pet?
Το κατοικίδιο ζώο.
Katikidio zo. The pet is an animal. Since the nouns agree, it looks and sounds kind of like it might be just a noun phrase, but it's two nouns next to each other. I don't think these are adjectival ones. It won't matter. Okay.
Το κατοικίδιο ζώο.
Greek word has cat in it. Cat. Good guess. Oikidio. Kidio. Oikos is the root. That's the noun stem. The prefix is indeed a cat. It's a combining form. This adposition, we should say. The Greek adpositions could go either preceding or following their nouns that they govern. Go in the middle of the phrase.
Το κατοικίδιο ζώο.
I think the omega would be accented. The pet. Okay, no, it is a single noun phrase. The animal which is down along, kata has many meanings. Along the house is the breakdown of this compound. To katikidio zo. Speaking of roots, it's fun. How did you put it? Fun part about Greek is recognizing roots. Rootignizing.
Είμαι το κατοικίδιό σου.
Here's a nice case. Ime is a remodeled Greek verb. It's not a classical form. I am to katikidio su. And it's a question. Am I? Now these three words together, a noun phrase, with the possessive mark at the
Σου.
end, definite at the front. The pet of yours, we say in just two words, your pet. Our word your is a two word.
Ένα κουτάβι.
And that means one.
Κουτάβι.
Puppy.
Έχω ένα κατοικίδιο ζώο.
So on the topic of Sanskrit, though, I had a really great book. I'm not sure where it is at the moment. It might be in the more hidden ones. but it was a really good breakdown of the most important sutras, sort of English summary of them, that I found really helpful. So if I come across it, we can work through that a bit, I think. Would be a good use of time. Echo enakatikidio zo. I have a pet animal.
Η αράχνη πίνει νερό.
The spider. Bini would be the same in ancient Greek too. Drinks. Present. Nero is not classical. Water. What was the classical Greek word for water?
Το ποντίκι και η αρκούδα.
From the stem of bini, we get pinocytosis, with a Y there. Cell drinking, living cells, with an odd compound order there. Το ποντίκι και η αρκούδα. Podiki was the duck, and the arcuda bear. So what's duck? Podiki, topo chico. Mole. Small mole.
Ο πελεκάνος είναι δικός μου.
Pelicanos. The pelican. Ine is δικός μου. Just mine.
Το καβούρι και η πάπια.
Might have changed to what Emperor Nero had to do with it. Yeah, he was famous for his consumption of wine, but he turned into water. An anti-Christ. Nero. So hydro is our combining form of it. It was an old consonant stem, which had a special inflection. Hudor, nominative accusative because it's neuter. Oh boy. And then hudatos, leaving aside the accent marks. Hudor. I think it had acute on the first, and it would have been a rough breathing because an initial upsilon was always breathed rough. Hudati. The only Greek word that I know of that begins with a plain u is the name of the letter, upsilon, or hupsilon is probably breathy. Hydro used to be water. So the hydro itself is not classical. This is an old case where you have an Indo-European OR alternating with a T for the oblique stems. To kavuri.
Καβούρι.
Okay, papia, that's the duck one. The crab. Duck.
Το ποντίκι και η αρκούδα.
Podiki και η αρκούδα. Το podiki και η αρκούδα. Mouse and the bear. So what Vurdhira Deutsch does is it defines... Oh, what is at? We talked about Vurdhi. Can you tell me what at means in the sutra? We see the combining form with a voiced one. But the stem itself is this, and there's another word, aich. What do you know about those? The ape. Opithecus. So we have in English Australopithecus and the Australopithecines. What does this mean, do you suppose? Australopithecus as a compound.
Ο πίθηκος.
Petaluda.
Η πεταλούδα. Η καμήλα. Ο πίθηκος.
y Camila. That's the thing. In these two words, there are no roots. Early hominid. Right, but what does the word mean? What the compound word? Exactly, the southern one, Australos. So they're Australia. Southern ape.
Η
Camila.
Καμίλα.
Interesting. I think it was masculine. Maybe it just means a female camel. That was the way it dealt with a lot of animal names.
Ο πίθηκος δεν έχει μια εφημερίδα.
Mia. Sounds like Mia is collapsed into one syllable.
Ο πίθηκος δεν έχει μια εφημερίδα.
Mia efemerida. Mia efemerida. The ape. Monkey.
Πίθηκος.
Δεν έχει. Then, oh, just like, well, not just like, but close to Welsh. Dim and dim. Does not have Mia efemerida. Have a newspaper. Efemerida. Butterfly. Petaluda. Η πεταλούδα.
Η πεταλούδα. Το χάμστερ δεν πίνει νερό.
Hamster δεν πίνει. Fusion there, even across the word boundary. It's probably significant that they're in a phrase together. Does not drink water. Το hamster doesn't he drink?
Το κορίτσι έχει ένα χάμστερ.
Κορίτσι.
Το κορίτσι έχει ένα χάμστερ.
Έχει ένα.
Έχει ένα χάμστερ. Ο αετός πίνει γάλα.
Ο αετός πίνει γάλα. Something the eagle drinks milk.
Αετός.
Don't know any English derivatives, but if you were a bird scientist, you'd probably recognize some species names.
Αετός.
Eagle. Interesting that it has both E and A together
Αετός.
as letters in both the English and Greek words. Eagles, eagles. Singular. Aetos pini drinks. Gala. We have this in galaxy. Milky Way.
Η καμιλοπάρδαλη.
Pardali. It's a camillopard.
Καμιλοπάρδαλη.
And that's definite the giraffe.
Αυτοί διαβάζουν μία εφημερίδα.
Αυτοί διαβάζουν μία εφημερίδα. Αυτοί, they,
Αυτοί.
διαβάζουν. This un goes straight back to ancient Greek. They read μία one newspaper. There's another one to look for the roots in εφημερίδα.
Εφημερίδα. Διαβάζουν.
Since it is a compound word, let's find some roots there. Translation. Εφημερίδα.
Η κότα τρώει μια πεταλούδα.
Λούδα. Μια πεταλούδα was a butterfly. Τρώει. Κότα. Η κότα.
Κότα.
Chicken eats a butterfly.
Το έντομο.
This we have in English. Edomo. But a different sound now.
Το έντομο.
Edomo. So it really sounds like a long D, I think.
Το έντομο.
Transcription might be domo, if that's not just a phantom effect. Means insect, it's a compound. What are the roots there? That's the sound of it. It's not spelled with a
Έντομο.
double delta. Endomo is the spell. The insect. Entomology, exactly. Let's do an anatomy of entomology. It's entomo. Is the compound structure. What does that mean? What are those pieces each?
Είσαι κότα.
Say you are kota. Chicken.
Η κότα τρώει το έντομο.
Kota. So it's feminine and ends in alpha instead of ita. Troi to edomo.
Η κότα τρώει το έντομο.
Kota troi to edomo. The chicken eats the insect.
Η καμήλα και η καμιλοπάρδαλη τρώνε ψωμί.
Camilla, the camel. And the giraffe. Και οι καμιλοπάρδαλοι τρώνε ψωμί. Eat bread.
Το χάμστερ.
The hamster. We have it in tome, meaning a volume of a book. We have it in anatomy. It's also a technical term in grammar. Tmesis has this root, means to cut. So entomos means cut into, namely sections, the same as the word insect means. It's a calc, apparently. It echoes it.
Hamster.
It was consciously created to be just like the Greek word in Latin. I don't know. Somebody might. The hamster.
Ο αετός είναι πουλί.
Aetos είναι πουλί. Puli, bird.
Πουλί.
Eagle is a bird. So here's a difference. There is a word for we use the numeral in Greek, but here it's just the eagle is bird. Word for bird. Oh, you know where else you see the TOM root is in tracheotomy. Any of those surgical procedures where something is removed. Tracheotomy? Was that a word? That would just be a cutting of the thing. Ectomy. So appendectomy. It's a nice one because append is a Latin root. Ectomy is Greek for cutting out. Ectom, compound. So meta compound here. Any of those ectomies. Vasectomy, same deal. It's a mongrel word. Y Camila. If I do, no. I wish there was a way to derive the eta. Type J. Haha, Jada. Cool. J. Otherwise useless letter. That's good to know. And it was just right there the whole time. Okay. Y Camila. We get it. Camili, Camila. Okay. Oaetos. And what was the other one I mentioned? That one is really a fusion. Emer. As the Greek stem is from epi and hemar, meaning day, upon a day. Ephemeral we have in English. Ephemera. So welcome back to language. Welcome back to Lango Institute. I'm your VerbAlly. We're doing a bit of Greek for this evening and also talking about some Sanskrit along the way.
Padaha Vriddhiradeich Adengunaha.
Let's get that one up there too. Think about that. Ading Gurnaha. Nga. And then we kill the vowel with this. Gurnaha. For the visarga, click here. Seems I need to do it there. Gurnaha. Ading Gurnaha. Doesn't need to be separate. But they do actually there. A ding is a compound for grammatical terms, and gurnaha is a regular word of Sanskrit repurposed as a grammatical term. The wolf, olikos.
Ολίκος.
We have lycanthropy. You know this one? Lyceum. Well, maybe it's connected in the history of the name, but it's not directly from the word for wolf. It's cognate with our word wolf. Lion. Liodari.
Το λιοντάρι.
Liodari.
Ο λαγός.
Wolf.
Η αλεπού.
Interesting.
Το λιοντάρι.
Liodari.
Αυτός ο λύκος δεν τρώει το μήλο.
Three-part noun phrase. Latin for wolf, sure is. Yeah, lupus. It's kind of an obscure family. Not quite a straightforward correspondence there. Wolf. Wolfas in Germanic. In Sanskrit, Vrkaha. Lupus, Wolfas, so the reconstructed form that makes the most sense to me is Ulquas, the labiovelar. Qua, there in the middle, that's what I'm using the capital W for, qua, as a single sound. And the L in syllable 1 is vocalic, but it was accented, unusually. Ulquas. So, qua, I think it did not regularly become P in Latin, but maybe in other Italic languages, the qua. Right, we have quinque for 5. Quinque, quatuor. Yeah. So this may be a dialect borrowing from another Italic language. Urkaha, yeah. Pretty straightforward to get from Indo-European to Sanskrit there. And the qua to fuzz is a bit odd, but we preserved the W down to this day. In fact, I believe English is the only language that directly continues Indo-European W as a W. Αυτός ο λύκος δεν τρώει το μήλο. Αυτός ο λύκος. This wolf. Three-part noun phrase. First for definite, then the article o, and then the noun lykos. Then troi to milo, does not eat the apple. Odd, it's definite. The hare o lagos.
Το φίδι.
Phoebe. We have ophidian. Lost its initial vowel. It was opis in ancient Greek for snake.
Ο λαγός.
The Fidi. It's a nice word, but it looks like it's sticking out its tongue with the phi there.
Το φίδι.
Fidi.
Ο τίγρης.
tigris. Interesting. A masculine one with an eta sigma at the end of the nominative singular.
Το λιοντάρι.
Socrates is like that. Το λιοντάρι.
Το φίδι. Αυτός ο λαγός τρώει μήλο.
Αυτός ο λαγός τρώει μήλο. This hare.
Μήλο.
It's not he the hare. Well, word for word it is. But meaning is that it's definite, proximal. Trói milo, eats apples. Eats an apple. Because the rest of Germanic would have turned it into a V sound. Oh, the other Germanic languages. Yeah, they use exactly. They still use the letter W. Polish has a W sound, but it's an old L, not the Indo-European one. It seemed like a hyperbolic claim that we're the only W preserver when I first encountered it, but I didn't find any exception, any contradiction to it. Any disproof.
Η Αλεπού. Η ζεύρα.
Zevra. Where's the syllable boundary?
Η ζεύρα.
It's a vra complex onset.
Το λιοντάρι.
Liodari.
Ο τίγρης.
O tigris.
Ο λύκος και ο τίγρης.
O licos και ο tigris. The wolf and the tiger.
Η ροζ ζεύρα.
Rose zebra. Pink zebra.
Είσαι ερπετό.
Είσαι ερπετό. You are a lizard?
Ερπετό.
Reptile. Yum.
Γεια σου, ζεύρα.
Yes, thanks. Yeah is gamma epsilon iota alpha. Su zebra.
Γεια σου, ζεύρα.
It's a lot like Spanish word as in trabalengual tristes tigres. Oh, tigris. Very nice. O tigris. Γεια σου zebra.
Γεια σου, ζεύρα.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Είναι το λιοντάρι θηλαστικό.
Which ya is related to hygiene. Your health. Okay, yeah. Interjection. Yep. Huigeya. Hygiene, health. Hugies. Yasu. Health to you. Είναι το λιοντάρι θηλαστικό. A question with Germanic style inversion. Verb fronting. Is the lion θηλαστικό wild?
Θηλαστικό.
Okay, I think the root is the same as in the word female. Theta in Greek. The lion, female. A mammal, yeah. Okay, I went confused myself thinking about a cognate.
Η Αλεπού.
The fox. This is odd that it's feminine ending in u.
Ο αετός τρώει το ερπετό.
Ο αετός τρώει το ερπετό. The eagle eats the reptile. Herpetology. Ερπετό.
Ο αετός δεν είναι θηλαστικό.
Ο αετός δεν είναι θηλαστικό. The eagle is not a mammal. Θηλαστικό. It sounds like elastic too.
Ο αετός τρώει ένα φίδι.
Ο αετός, the eagle, τρώει ένα φίδι. Eats a snake.
Αυτός ο λαγός τρώει μήλο.
Αυτός ο λαγός τρώει μήλο. This hare eats an apple.
Είναι το λιοντάρι θηλαστικό.
Είναι το λιοντάρι θηλαστικό. The lion, a mammal. Okay, so one thing we need to know to understand Panini also is the Shiva Sutras. very short. They sort of precede the grammar proper, but are essential to understanding it. I, urn. So these, I think, it would make sense to memorize, or at least tape this chart up somewhere and to refer to it so you understand what's being talked about. I, urn. So each row is a discrete set of vowels. Well, starting with vowels, it is a discrete set of sounds. The first 4 sutras, 1 through 4, consist of vowels. The rest denote consonants. And then you have these final letters, and these are it, which means they're technical labels only. They do not surface as part of the sound. They're not part of the set. A, I, urn, r, k, e, ong, I, ouch, ayavarat, learn, nyama, ngarna, num, jhabhain, garda, dhash, jaba, garda, dash, ka, pa, cha, ta, ta, cha, ta, ta, va, ka, pa, cha, ta, ta, cha, ta, ta, va. I've never got my mouth around this one. Ka, pai, sha, sha, sar, hull. So the H occurs twice, which causes a little bit of ambiguity, but nothing fatal. I think there's some there's the occurs twice too, right? As an ender, na, and here. So the expression, okay, let me explain how it works then. We've seen now, vrti at aich. The very first sutra has these, I'm going to use capital letters, not for retroflex, but to show what the grammatical addition is to the thing. Sutra 111 mentions at, aich, it compounds them. So we can write them this way. And what that helps us see is that the refers to that with a dental T following means just the vowel cited. Just that vowel The ch means aich. If we start in this list from the sound I, from this phoneme, go until we hit a ch, which is right there. And so this single syllable aich means these 2 vowel phonemes, I, ow. Now in Sutra 112, we get ading gurnaha. There too it's a compound. At and ing, velar eng. So again, the T means just the vowel sided, short plus start from the phoneme a and go until you hit an eng. Here too, just 1 row. But if we get an expression to ng, that would mean these 3 rows. Starting from the first one, go until you hit the velar eng. So it would mean 3, 5, 7 phonemes, namely this set. They're constructed in a way that it's the most convenient way to pluck out a nested set that you need, which is not a trivial task. So I think either Panini himself or all of his predecessors whom he summarized and beat at the game of brevity, someone in that scheme was a mathematical genius. As well as, and you have to have excellent powers of perception and organization. Okay. What the second sutra says, I'll just briefly summarize, is that the 2 sets of sounds, in this case it's a set of 3, at and ing, they denote, they are covered by the term, struggling here, gurna, which means virtue in everyday language. It has this specific value in its grammar. Vrti means at and aich, and guna, he uses those terms constantly, means at and ing. I'm just noticing for the first time that my name is heard here in this very second sutra. How pleasing. Okay, let's stick with Indo-European for a bit. And I thought maybe we could do a bit of an Eastern Europe theme. Eastern Europe, Indo-European with some Yiddish. Oh, we'll do Yiddish now, and then some Czech, I thought, because that's been a while. And then maybe some Hungarian to get out of Indo-Europe. blue flag. There we go. Tough league. Look at this. Only 25th position. 5,000 to my piddling 870. Piddling. I do go pretty slowly when I do it. I suppose if I were trying to be fast, I would go about it differently.
Shoe.
Shit. What?
Shoe.
Okay, the plot thickens. Oh, this must be a Hebrew word. Because the vowel normally writes eh, and that last one is an H. What is shu? I'm dying to know. I can't wait to find this out. Now I've got myself in trouble. Okay. Hebrew and Yiddish. Alright. An hour. Cool. Oh, I think of shi in Chinese. Xiao shi now means an hour. This one. It'd be fun to do a shi character written with an aleph in the top right, I think. Can I get an aleph? Okay. I suppose I could be doing it on stream. Levi, do you understand a good stroke order for the aleph? There it is, my way of writing shu for hour. Synicized it. Seven, sieben. Der. Cursed. Der Postamt. Der Postamt. Die Vereinigten Staaten. Sieben.
Sieben.
Sieben, shortened, not sieben. Or maybe it lengthened in German. We have a short vowel too in English, seven. Shu, written as she'eh.
Shoe.
So in Hebrew, what's the form of that? Sha'ah with an old ein. Sha'ah. So the ah, as in the name Duvid, has raised to u somewhere along the way there, in that tradition of pronouncing Hebrew in Yiddish. The vernacular reading of a Hebrew word. Aleph, oh, thank you, how nice. Yeah, cross, down, down. Well expressed there.
Morgen habe ich Zeit.
Morgen hab ich Zeit.
Morgen habe ich Zeit.
Morgen hab ich Zeit.
Minuten, secondes in Schuhen.
Minuten, minutes. Secondes, secondes. And Schuhen.
Minuten, secondes in Schuhen.
Schuhen. Then native Yiddish suffix n. Schuhen.
Minuten, secondes in Schuhen.
Schuhen. Okay, I do still hear an eh there as a distinct vowel sound. Eh. Bet. So that must be really confusing to someone who wants Yiddish writing to just be one thing. That the word would be spelled apparently sh, e, h, and be pronounced shu. but it makes sense if you recognize it's not in the native stock of Yiddish per se.
shoe,
It's the same writing system, but writing a different language.
Bet.
Hose.
Hose.
Oman.
Oman.
What's that? Oh, look at that. This is Hebrew, not Yiddish. That's one way to get to. That's why it didn't match. Oh, I've got the wrong noon. Got the high noon. I need the low noon. Where am I taking it? There it is. Oh, okay, the country name. Alright, no mystery there.
ich hab a shoe,
Ich hab a shoe.
ich hab a shoe,
So how do you say shoe in Yiddish? Shuch. Wow. Or shich. How would it be? Voice output not available. Too bad. Voice output, that's a nice term. Ich hab a shoe. I have now. My German speaking mind here's I have a shoe. So it takes some effort. I'll probably stumble there over this particular shoe for an hour.
Sprinze, geist da weg?
Sprinze. Geist avec. Geist. Note that it's not geisty.
Geist,
Going. Geist avec. Sprinze. Are you going away?
die geist da weg,
Die Geist avec. You're going away. Die. Spelled do. Geist. Se. The. Avec. The. Like that. Or is it avec K? Is it Q? I'm sure there will be a level about clothing soon. Yeah. Good point. Here's hoping. Die Geist avec. You leave.
wie geist da morgen?
Wie geiste morgen. Here it is with the pronoun fused into the verb there. Where are you going? Morgen, tomorrow.
Par was darfst du 7 zimmern?
Vor was darfst du 7 zimmern? Zimmern. Why do you need 7 rooms?
Mein Chaver hat 7 Kinder. Nie in,
Okay, mein Chaver hat 7 Kinder. Nu, nie in?
In.
So what? Na und? We would say where I grew up.
mein Chaver hat 7 Kinder. Nie in,
I think na is a standard German word per se. Particle maybe. A discourse marker. Mein Chaver, my friend, hat has 7 Kinder. So what?
Ich darf 2 Schuhe.
Ich darf 2 Schuhe. I need 2 hours. And I need 2 shoes.
Darfst du 6 oder 7?
Darfst du 6 oder 7? Do you need 6 or 7?
Die Geist nicht.
Die Geist nicht. You're not going. Minutes, Minuten. Let's word bank it. Minuten.
Minuten.
Minuten. Sekundes.
Sekundes.
Sekundes. Oh, that's very like what Hebrew does historically with its weak initial syllable vowels. It syncopates it. Sekundes. In.
In.
Schuhen. Schuhen.
Schuhen.
Minuten. Sekundes in Schuhen. I have time more. Ich hab Zeit. Ich hab Zeit morgen. Morgen hab ich Zeit would be a nice German reordering of that. Let's keep it. Ich
Hab. Zeit.
morgen.
Morgen.
So maybe for those who might be learning Yiddish and struggling with how it writes vowels, we have, well, in all languages, vowels that we call high, and they are E and U. Some languages also have U, the central one. We have some that are mid. That'll make more sense if I introduce low vowels first. Some vowels are low, meaning the jaw drops quite a ways. We have a, ah, shades of a for that. Now between e and a, sort of on the way, is an e, and between u and a, we have our o vowel sounds groups. These are just sort of ranges within the space in which we can make sounds by opening the mouth, moving the tongue. And so, basically our old u, written with a vav letter, has shifted to e. That causes a little bit of confusion. It also still writes o and u, I think. So it's got a lot of, the vav letter is doing a lot of work. The aleph letter is doing a lot of work too, because it writes 2 vowels with very slightly different diacritics. To avoid that paradoxical confusion, I recommend putting brackets down. Now the o, aleph with a T-shaped thing below it, and letter a has just an underline. E is generally written with the ein letter, which was a pharyngeal consonant. U, when it occurs, do we have any instances of U? It's a vav. And so E can be written with Yud and with Vav as well. These 2 letters. Oops, shouldn't have done that. Put both brackets down first and copy in. I feel like I'm skipping something. This is for basic Yiddish words. In the case of shu, for hour, it's written with this and happens to be sounded with an U in the living vernacular pronunciation of Hebrew words, which comes down through the millennia. So you have change in a long time span like that. You see sound changes, especially with vowels. Also, you see shifts in the consonant. You see and hear shifts in the consonants too. The old t or th became a s.
Ja, ich hab 8 Hotels.
Hotel. German has a different plural there. We say hotels. Ja. I have 8 hotels.
Zecher darfst du es.
Sicher, certainly. Darfst du es? Sure, certainly you need it. Does this mean need or may?
Darfst du.
Of course you need it. Sicher darfst du es. Word order is kind of interesting, and here I would count darfst du as 2 words. It's sicher, a sort of sentential adverb. It is certain that, certainly, with no inflectional ending. Darfst, the verb form, need, second person, and then the pronoun is die fused onto there. Darfst, die. Darfst die. The T and the D give just a T when they meet like that. But it's certainly need.
Darfst du.
Okay, actually it's just like German too, but the rule in a declarative sentence like this is that your verb is in position 2. Sieben, says Levi, is interesting. In Hebrew it would be ziven because non-initial. Bait is spirantized. Yeah, dürfen is to need in Yiddish. Yep, it's a little confusing. Is it dürfen? I wonder if it's darfen. I wonder what the infinitive is. Let's look that up. Darf. I think that's right. No? Okay. I look forward to learning that, what the infinitive is. It could correspond. So in German you have this weird, that's a vowel grade difference, in standard German at least, where that happens. Darf, ich darf, du darfst, er darf. These reflect Germanic a, well, yeah. Tharf would have been Germanic, so I'm going to use 8 for theta. And I think that would have been a v there, maybe, something like that. And then you have dürfen as an infinitive, and also the plural, wir dürfen, ihr dürft, with a 0 grade. Oh, yeah, so the tharp was Germanic. And that means it made its belt too tight, yeah, to cinch. Tharp would have gone back to something like Indo-European torb, maybe. Torb or torp. Let's look that up in just a second for the root. And dürfen, ihr dürft, is a Germanic 0 grade. Well, it's a Germanic ur sequence. And that's an Indo-European 0 grade. Would it be, if this root even is that old? The fact that it ablaut suggests it probably is, but it's not a guarantee. Would have been trb, maybe. Or trp. Let's see. But this one only has it for English cognates. Let's do that another time. Let's go on with the show.
Montag is morgen.
Montag.
Montag is morgen.
It's spelled with a yud even in
Montag.
the voiceless K. Montag.
Montag is morgen.
The speaker has it with a g voiced. Monday is tomorrow. Montag is morgen.
Es ist Montag in 7 Minuten arem.
Es is Montag. Es
Es
is
Is.
Montag.
Montag.
It's a vowel reduction in the weak syllable of that compound.
Es ist Montag in 7 Minuten arem.
7 minute
Minute.
arin. Arim.
Arim.
Arim. Don't recognize this. Oh, it needs to be final. There we go. Final meme. Arum spelled with Vav. So A-R-U-M. Final. Herum. Okay. But that makes no sense in German. We don't say in 7 Minuten herum. So that's an innovation somewhere.
Voor was darfst die beide Winkler?
Was darfst die beide Bänkler? Why do you need both chairs?
Nein, es ist nicht Sonntag.
Nein, es ist nicht Sonntag. No, it's not Sunday.
Ich bin nicht also sicher.
Ich bin nicht Azoi.
Ich bin nicht also sicher.
So sicher. Sicher. I'm not so sure.
Sonntag oder Montag?
Sunday or Monday. Sonntag oder Montag?
Ist es Sonntag?
Is es Sonntag? Is Sunday.
Ich darf beide beletten.
Darf I need both Billetten tickets?
Bist du sicher?
Bist du sicher? Are you sure?
Mein Haus hat 8 Betten.
Mein Haus hat 8 Betten.
Wie sind beide?
Wie sehen beide? Where are both of them?
Ich hab beide.
I have both. Ich hab beide. Check, please.
Dobrý večer, díky.
Good evening.
Díky.
Thanks. Nice. Prosím. Prosím. Why does the day word have the E vowel? So does the word day have it? Let's see. That would be one explanation. No, that has tog with an O. Well, Yiddish fronts many vowels, but that seems unexpected. Note that it was Montig is spelled this way. It's not spelled with vav like we have in darfsti. That was a different vowel, of course. But in some cases, it's still spelled as if it were u, the way it is in standard High German. Montig. But this word is for Monday is spelled like this. So what do you think? Since the word day itself is not like this, what's the difference between day and Monday? In terms of the word structure, not the meaning.
Na shledanou, děkuji.
This is that fascinating sa-ha-la cluster.
Na shledanou, děkuji.
Děkuji, thank you.
Shledanou.
Goodbye. Dobrý večer. Unstressed. Why unstressed there? I agree. I think that is a big part of it. If you listen around English, you might hear things like Monday, Tuesday. Oh, you can do a hard return within a message. That's nice. Yeah, it's vowel reduction in an unstressed syllable, which Latin did too. English has all over the place. Unstressed syllable. In English, we will never stress Monday, Tuesday. Always on the former component, the earlier one. Same in German. And a situation like that sets you up for gradual reduction of the vowel. Instead of low, it's been raised, less effort involved, and then a high vowel easily delete in that kind of environment. Good evening. Oh, not this. Wrong place. Dobry wieczór. Wieczór. Dziękuję. Dziękuję. Diki is just a reduced form of this. Speaking of diki, I bet you. Maybe we looked that up once.
Prosím.
Proceed, please.
Naschledanou.
Shledanou. See ya. I think it's going to be till we see each other.
Shledanou.
See you soon.
Děkuji. Naschledanou.
Děkuji. Yeah. Kuji, I think it was. Naschledanou. Shledanou.
Prosím.
Prosím.
Ano, dobrou noc.
Dobrou.
Ano, dobrou
Just like it sounds.
noc.
Notes. Very close phonetic match to the script. Thanks. Diki. Diki. Bye. We can just say ahoy. Ciao is cool too. Do you know where ciao comes from? Ciao. It's like adding the P of nope and yep. Yes, hi. Ano. Ahoy. Cool.
Nové ráno.
Nové ráno. Nové.
Ráno.
New morning. Ráno, morning. Nové.
Nové.
Město.
Město.
Nové auto.
Nové auto. New car. Nice car. Hezké.
Hezké auto.
Nové město.
Nové město.
Město.
Dobré. Hezké.
Hezké. Město.
Dobré město. Hezké město.
Město. City.
Hezké auto.
Hezké long. Auto.
Hezké nové auto.
Hezké nové auto. A nice new car. Nové město. 98. It does come from Italian, but within Italian, where does it come from? It has a source beyond that. So what do I mean? They say bye bye now in Chinese. It comes from English bye, but bye itself is a reduction of God be with you. That's what I mean. Where does ciao come from? What does it reflect? Good morning. Dobre rano. Ja jem. Ja sem. Katerzyna.
Já jsem Kateřina.
Speaking of vowel reduction.
Já jsem.
Sem. They know it's there underlying, like you'd get it after a ne. Nesem. I am not. That's a reduction of the old S. S. Not the consonant S, but the verb root S. The by part just means be with you. Yeah, exactly. Because you won't. Levi says, so the by part of the word goodbye means just be with you, which is an odd thing to say when leaving, because you won't. Pithy. Full of pith. Ciao. Good. Excellent. That's what I want to hear. From a Latin saying, utterance, as I understand. So what does this mean? Note that in Austrian German, we have the greeting, Servus. For comparison, also a reduced phrase. Ja jsem Kateřina. No, I am Maciej. Ne. Ja jsem Maciej.
Já jsem Matěj.
Ja jsem Maciej. I hear a vowel coming in.
Já jsem Matěj.
Maciej. Ja, and I don't hear it as becoming ya jsem, so between words, the y will just get dropped. But if it's fused there like nesem, we still hear ya. Kateřina.
Ano, já jsem Matěj.
Ano, já jsem Matěj. Yes. No. Ne. Já jsem Žofie.
Dobré ráno, já jsem Kateřina.
Dobré ráno. Já jsem Kateřina. Kateřina.
Dobré ráno, já jsem Kateřina.
Kateřina. I am a pretty child. Já jsem hezké. Child. Dítě. Your servant, sklavus tuus. I am your slave. Exactly right. And that Austrian servus, meaning I, is also servus tuus. I am your slave, your servant. Your servant, sir. So glad we don't have to say that when we meet each other in my culture. Better to just sort of fuse the whole phrase together into ciao. Maybe less legally binding. Dice.
Ναι, γεια σε Ζοφία.
Γεια σε Ζοφία.
Ja sam muž.
Interesting that it's a j initial there. Ja sem mush. I'm a man. Servus in the Latin class in high school. Servus vinum bibit. Vinum bibit. Ja sem mush.
Ja sam dítě.
Dítě. I'm a child. Já jsem dítě. Nice. Okay. Also nice. I don't know how many slaves actually would have been drinking wine. Maybe if they get their hands on it and not get caught. Ja, long. Sem. Dítě. Speaking of Latin and Eastern Europe, let's do something that notches both of those, checks both those boxes in Romanian.
Ioana nu e săracă.
Săracă. No, it's săracă.
Săracă.
Not from Latin, I think. Nu e, not is. Non est.
Nu e frumos.
Nu e, it's not frumos.
Frumos.
It isn't
Frumos.
nice, handsome, beautiful.
Nu sunt ieftini.
So sunt is either they are or I am. Now since the noun looks plural, I think it's they.
Ieftini.
Wow. They're not cheap. Yeftini. Yeftini. And the final E is not really sounded. It's doing an Irish kind of thing, mutating the consonant. Yeftini. Yeftini. Okay, just Yeftin. From older Eftin, partly from Bulgarian Yevtin, and partly from Greek Phtinos, from Byzantine Greek Eutenos, successful, meaning cheap. Fascinating. Phtinos. Okay, the development seems to have taken place in Greek. Shoddy, of poor quality. What was it? Successful. Okay, and then poor quality, inexpensive, low value. What's going on there? What's the story?
Ele sunt fete bogate.
Ele sunt, they are girls who are
Bogate.
girls.
Sunt scumpi sau ieftini?
Sunt scumpi.
Scumpi.
So, are they expensive or cheap? Both marked plural. Yep, Eva says. Sunt looks like third plural, but exactly like Italian, first singular, third plural the same. Sono. So in Italian they extended probably they were both son from sum at that stage of common development. From Latin sum seems like a likely development to me, and then also son. Why am I saying son? Son or sun, maybe. Don't know which. From sunt also. And then, so it's unlikely for M to develop into an NT cluster just by regular sound changes. Not the kind of thing that generally happens. So, some remodeling of the word there. Maybe it was sun with an optional T. Was sort of the intermediate stage.
Ele sunt femei sărace.
Sărace. Săracă, singular. They are women who are... Săracă was what?
Sărace. Femeia bătrână este puternică.
Femeia bătrână.
Femeia bătrână este puternică.
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 Poder, power. Powernik. The nik, I think, came from Slavic. Derivational suffix. Este. Okay, we have strong and weak forms of the copula.
Este.
Est, sort of reinforced est. Bătrână.
Bătrână.
The old woman is powerful, strong.
Ești o fată deșteaptă.
Ești o fată deșteaptă. Ești.
Ești.
You are a girl who is
O. Deșteaptă.
de-stupided. Or it's got this, what could it be? This is not good. Very creative.
O vacă bătrână este urâtă.
Speaking of vaccine, vaca, the cow.
Vacă.
A cow is word for horse. Sriracha. Bătrână. The cow, smart cow.
Bătrână.
Old cow is urâtă.
Este urâtă.
Urâtă. Urâtă. What are those vowels?
O vacă bătrână este urâtă.
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 Umbrella A is high central Bowl A is schwa. An old cow is ugly.
Femeia tânără nu este urâtă.
Femeia tânără nu este urâtă.
Tânără.
And the definiteness is shown by the ending.
Femeia.
Yeah. The woman, the young woman, is not ugly.
Tu și fata vorbiți limba engleză.
Tu și fata, you and the girl, subtle difference, but
Vorbiți fata.
modified A, that's definite. You and the girl. Vorbiți, looks like forbidden or something. Limba inglesa, this one is language. Lingua became a labial ultimately here. What was the word where we were talking about? Oh, it was, tip of my tongue, lupus, the wolf word, where the qua labialized, that's happened with the voiced gua. in this Romanian word? Engleza, the English language. I think this is also definite.
Engleză. Fata. Vorbiți.
Speak. Is this from verbum? Girls speak English language. We'll just say English.
Ea are un băiat tânăr și deștept.
Deștept. Ja are. This is habe.
Are.
These become
Băiat.
un băiat, a boy, young and smart. As a young and smart boy. Does this mean boyfriend or son?
Băiat.
Okay. Young and smart boy.
Ele sunt bătrâne și bogate.
Okay.
Ele sunt bătrâne și bogate. Ele sunt bătrâne.
Tânăr for young is a lot different to the jeune, joven, juvenis crowd. Nice spelling. That's really interesting case in juvenis because you have 4 potential vowels next to each other. E is obligatorily a vowel, really. But I, U, U. So, how do you find out which one will be vowel-y and which one will be consonant-y? Semantic. Well, the one next to A, the letter E, has to be, doesn't have to be, but it's convenient for it to be consonantal. So the one before that, U, and so on backwards through the word, anticipating the following sound. Bătrână și
Și ele sunt bătrâne și bogate.
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 So bog is a Slavic word for God. I wonder if that's related. Bogat. Bogatu. Wealth, share, God. There it is. Ubog. Oh, how cool. Poor in Romanian again was what? Sărac. Sărac. Ele sunt bătrâne și bogate.
Ele sunt bătrâne și bogate.
Bătrâne și bogate means they are young and poor. No, rich. They are good and expensive. Sunt. Buni.
Buni.
Buni și
Și
expensive. Scumpi.
scumpi.
Scumpi. E devoicing there. Maybe it's palatalizing the P, but it's nothing I can detect. He is a beautiful child. El est.
El este
Copil.
copil.
Copil, and then beautiful. Oh, you know what this frumos is?
Frumos.
Frumoasă. It's got a little metathesis happening. Este un we need. Okay, he's a beautiful child. El este un copil frumos. So, frumos comes from a Latin word beginning with F. A little dance has happened there. What do you think? He is a beautiful child.
El
este
un
copil
copil
frumos.
frumos.
Frumos. That makes sense for it to be accented at the end. Frumos. That is indeed metathesis. Think of the old name of Taiwan. this adjective, Latin formosus, formosa, which is in turn based on forma, the form, shape, so shapely. Okay, stomach's a little upset today, so I'm going to call it a night. I hope to see you next time, probably tomorrow. Bye-bye.